An 11-year-old boy arrested after robbing a bus driver at knife point.
It's actually a huge deal, and the fact that it's a deadly weapon.
Investigators think it was part of a larger youth crime spree. The back and forth over bike lanes.
That obviously causes traffic congestion and chaos.
The push from the province to remove the lanes from major traffic corridors. And a Canmore artist makes it big on the international stage. The abstract art that made it all the way from Alberta to London.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Jordan Canigan.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. It was an evening of grieving and remembering. Members of Siksika Nation holding a vigil for the victims of a deadly hit and run that happened last weekend. Candles were lit and stories were told as the group remembered 27-year-old Trayton Runningbird and 45-year-old Clifton Saddleback. The two men were killed Saturday evening as they walked along a roadway. Another woman was critically injured and remains in hospital. RCMP say the driver of a pickup truck hit the group intentionally. Family members of the victims say they're still trying to understand why someone would do this.
Hard to believe, but just pray for them, I guess. That's all I could do right now. Just hope for the best, for everybody else. Pray for them, I guess. I just kind of feel like, distraught in a way. Not making sense sometimes, it's kind of different and weird.
27-year-old Adolphus Weasel child is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He's due in court next week. Calgary police arrested but released an 11-year-old boy accused of holding up a bus driver in an armed robbery. The driver was parked at the Earlton station around 11:45 last night when a young boy got on, took out a knife and demanded the driver's phone. The suspect made off with some cash before running away with a group of teens waiting outside the bus. Police tracked them down at 25th Street and McLeod Trail Southwest and took 3 youth into custody. The 11-year-old was released because anyone under 12 cannot be charged under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Police say the group also robbed a liquor store earlier in the night along 11th Ave. The transit union says the situation reflects the state of transit safety and youth crime in Calgary.
This assailant, and he's an assailant regardless of his age, had covered his face and made sure that he showed the weapon when he was making his demands. And the operator, knowing that he's armed and anything could go wrong, continued to speak with the assailant and communicate a resolution to what could have been a deadly situation.
Now, the union says the driver returned to work voluntarily this morning. A Calgary man is being charged with sexual assault after police say he met a woman through a dating app. The victim says she met the man online in November 2024 and later met in person at a restaurant. Police allege the woman went to the man's home where she was sexually assaulted. She came forward this year. Nathaniel Mark Thompson is being charged and has a court date in September. Police are reminding Calgarians there's no timeline to report a sexual assault in Canada. 5 people were injured in a pileup involving a stolen vehicle this afternoon. 4 vehicles were involved in the crash. Police say the white pickup was stolen. It started in Bowness when officers tried to pull the truck over. The driver took off, speeding down Crowchild Trail, Glenmore, and 14th Street before the collision 20 minutes later. 5 people suffered minor injuries.
It shows that these people don't slow down. He obviously continued driving in a manner that put the public at risk and ultimately ended in a collision, and thankfully people weren't seriously hurt. We got very lucky today.
Charges are pending against the driver of the truck. Danielle, right at the end of the month, squeaking in with some hot weather. Is it going to last, though?
I mean, if you consider 2 days lasting.
Hey, we'll take it,
We'll take it. We'll take whatever brightness we can get, some dry weather for the next couple of days. Things won't start to change until Friday night. Friday night is when we're looking at more rainfall starting to arrive and temperatures will cool for the weekend. So Take these moments, enjoy what you can of it, whether it's looking outdoors from your office, heading to the beach, doing a barbecue. 28 degrees for our high for tomorrow. The winds will pick up a little bit in the afternoon, just like they did today. Mainly sunny skies. More details coming up.
Thank you, Danielle. Calgary's bike lane battle isn't over despite a meeting between the mayor and Alberta's transportation minister. The minister isn't ruling out using provincial legislation to remove existing lanes, despite the mayor saying a review is needed first. Tim Brooke has more on the back and forth.
A closed-door meeting between Calgary's mayor and Alberta's transportation minister has lowered the temperature, but the bike lane debate isn't over yet.
Right now, we're having these conversations with both Edmonton and Calgary and identifying bike lanes that obviously don't make sense.
Devin Dreeshen claims the lanes are creating traffic and making downtown parking difficult. He's yet to cite specific studies or data to back up his arguments.
For a city like ours that is growing by more than 250 people a day, you need to be very open to understanding how people are moving about the city and how they will be.
Jody Gondek says city officials are looking at Calgary's cycling network and open to making changes if they can be proven productive.
About 1% of our road network accommodates bike lanes. In some spots where people have expressed some challenges, it is possible to explore other solutions.
Dreeshen has previously hinted he wants both Calgary and Edmonton to take out certain lanes. He's still not ruling out forcing a move.
Obviously, provincial legislation is something that we'd consider.
After the meeting, the minister caught up with a handful of Calgarians protesting bike lanes.
They've actually caused a lot of congestion, reduced the number of available parking stalls in the city.
Cycling advocates dispute that claim.
Careful measurements were taken, and certainly the users of those facilities increased substantially, in many cases doubling, and no significant impact to commute times for drivers were measured.
Official reviews are likely coming soon. In the meantime, the mayor hopes no final decisions are passed down. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
A court in Ontario ruling today a law to remove 3 bike lanes in Toronto violates the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In response, Alberta's transportation minister would only say it's always helpful to look at bills in other provinces to see what they did and didn't do well. More Albertans are picking up a menu over making a meal at home. That's according to data from Statistics Canada, analyzed by ATB Financial. Although an increase in restaurant sales is welcome, owners are serving up cautious optimism. Stephanie Thomas reports.
Lucy opened its doors on 17th Avenue Southwest in April. Owners say bookings have been steady, partly because it's new, but also because more Albertans are dining out.
Well, it feels good for us and for the industry overall. It has been hard years, and now after COVID, things have improved.
Some people are definitely still feeling the effects of the pandemic. I think most of us are, but it's a huge relief to be where we are.
ATB Financial analyzed data from Statistics Canada. Compared to the first 5 months of 2024, year over year, restaurant sales in Alberta have grown by 5.2%. It gives the Boucher family confidence they expanded at the right time.
It doesn't matter what day of the week has been, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, has been busy every day, so we definitely can see that.
The chief economist at ATB Financial says Alberta continues to see strong population growth. There's more local activity as Canadians limit travel abroad. But the pandemic and recent inflation crisis means that although there is growth, the starting point for hospitality was low.
It's still in some ways not back to normal for restaurants coming out of COVID. They've seen their costs go up. Consumers are still pretty cautious these days. Unemployment rate's elevated.
For restaurant patrons, getting an experience that can't be replaced at home is worth it.
Supporting local businesses is important for our Calgary economy.
But we do enjoy it. We enjoy the atmosphere. So when we can and when the kids are calm enough, we eat out as frequently as we can.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Well, coming up, uncorking a tax increase on your drinks. Why BC winemakers say Alberta isn't playing fair and it's impacting their sales.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The number of lab-confirmed E. coli cases linked to the Saskatoon farm near Okotoks has risen to 36. Alberta Health Services saying 11 of those cases also tested positive for a parasitic infection in several norovirus and rotavirus. More than 230 people have reported falling ill after eating at the farm south of Calgary. As of yesterday, 3 people have been hospitalized. AHS expanded the exposure window from July 1st to July 18th. Food service facilities at the Saskatoon farm will be closed until AHS deems it's safe to reopen. Health Canada is warning some prescription painkillers may not be available because of an ongoing drug shortage. While some people might be able to use alternatives, one Southern Alberta man says this leaves him in quite a dire position. Jacqueline Wilson explains.
It's very unbearable. It really is.
A workplace accident in 2020 left Tony Heimbrock with chronic pain.
I fell 14 feet onto the concrete floor.
Since then, the Okotoks man says he's developed chronic migraines and a heart issue. While working, he used 2 to 3 Percocets a day. Now, because of a drug shortage, he says he's holding on to his last 2 pills.
I just sort of keep very low-keyed and try not to do anything and participate in life anymore. And it shouldn't be that way.
It's not just in Alberta. Canada is experiencing a nationwide shortage of both acetaminophen with oxycodone and codeine from manufacturing distribution at Teva Canada Limited. Health Canada says the situation is expected to improve by mid-August, but supply constraints are expected to continue until the end of September.
It's really helpful for us if patients are on these products that they call us before they're completely out of their medication to give us a bit of time to figure it out. They shouldn't panic. There are some alternatives that can be figured out for them. It just might take a bit of time because pharmacies will need to talk to the physicians.
Unfortunately for Heimbrock, other health issues leave him unable to use most alternatives.
If they had known that there was a prescription shortage in that medication, then some people can get by on other pain medications.
Howden thinks more suppliers and better communication about shortages can help prevent situations like this in the future.
One thing that we are seeing trends in here in Canada over the last decade or more is more single source or only dual source products. And what that means is you get one shortage of one manufacturer and all of a sudden you have no product available.
Tony Heimbrock hopes to get access again soon so he can get back to a more active and pain-free life. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Airdrie is getting $50 million from the province to build another wastewater pipeline to Calgary. Airdrie's population has ballooned by 25% in the last 3 years, and its current water infrastructure is struggling to keep up. The city gets its water from Calgary, and a new 7-kilometer pipeline will support 45,000 new homes and businesses. Airdrie now has more than 90,000 people living there.
It contributes to affordable housing, obviously providing more housing options. We already attract young families and great workers to our community. The projected economic return over the lifetime of this pipe is $45 billion. That's not just municipal, that's across the province.
The new pipeline will cost $114 million and construction will start next year. Signatures can now be collected for an approved referendum question. The question is, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? Former Conservative MLA Thomas Lukaszuk is behind the initiative. Alberta's chief electoral officer says because the question was approved before legislative changes to the Citizen Initiative Act, it will need to follow the old rules. That means over 293,000 signatures need to be gathered by October 28th. Well, amid the trade tiff with the U.S., premiers across the country are trying to break down trade barriers. But BC's wine producers say Alberta isn't playing fair. They call it a hidden tax that Alberta consumers are now having to pay since April 1st, and sales are being impacted. Tyson Fedor reports.
BC wine producers are accusing the Alberta government of playing hardball with its latest tax grab.
Our sales have dropped of people who want wine shipped to them in Alberta because when we explain the new tax, they're all really upset at their government.
Ron Kubek's small winery in the Okanagan bottles 3,200 cases a year. Many of his customers are from Alberta. But Kubek says the province is double dipping on its latest tax scheme.
Daniel Smith thinks it's important to gouge us and gouge the Alberta consumer versus helping to support Canada.
A $4.11 flat tax is added to every liter of wine sold in Alberta. For any bottle of wine that costs between $15 and $20, a 5% rate is applied. Between $20 and $25, a 10% tax is added, while any bottle more than $25, 15%.
So that's really impactful on folks who maybe come visit BC's wineries and want to ship a case back. You suddenly find the Alberta government expects you to pay an extra $50, $60 for something that did not go through the Alberta system.
Wine Growers of BC says Alberta is only making it more difficult for wineries and overtaxing its own residents.
Nobody does it like Alberta, right? And the frustrating part is we've explained this to them. We've had plenty of conversations with them, and they're just not listening.
We don't tax Alberta beef when it's coming across the border. We don't tax Alberta wheat when it's coming across the border, even though we do both of those in BC. We don't tax Alberta oil because we do oil in both areas.
Despite U.S. President Trump's potential 15% tariffs, Quebec says it's much more affordable to do business south of the border.
15% is still going to be cheaper for me to ship to the United States than to any other province in Canada. How does that make sense?
While the tax isn't helping Canada's wine industry, the province says the tax is meant to support the long-term viability of Alberta's liquor industry.
When it comes to the markup, I know Minister Nally's been working hard to make sure that we can find the right balance. Obviously, we want to be able to promote Alberta producers here in Alberta.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the province also says the direct-to-consumer agreement it has with BC ensures BC wineries pay their fair share of the fees the province collects from liquor sales. It adds that the new tax levy also applies to all wines sold in Alberta, not just BC wines. Well, after a really rainy month, a little bit of a warm stretch to end it. Danielle has more in her forecast coming up next.
All right, well, yes, the dress matches the graphics. Hot overall. We even have heat warnings in place for some communities. Calgary, though, it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold today. It was a beautiful summer day. And considering all the rain we had so far in July, I'm sure it was welcomed by many to have a bright day and some warmth. 25 degrees was the high in Calgary. We did have a bit of a breeze out there at times as well. We got to 27 in Edmonton, and areas, many communities north of Edmonton were in the 30s. And check out Prince George, 32 for a high for today. Toronto also got to 30, and so did Halifax. All right, here's the heat warning in place, and what I will say is that all of southern Alberta will be hot for the next couple of days, but there's something that you have to meet with regards to the warning criteria. So at least 2 consecutive days of a high at 29 degrees or higher and an overnight low of 14 or higher for this area. Basically, that's the criteria of anywhere north of Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. So these are the communities that meet that warning criteria. Strathmore down through Vulcan, Champion, Lowman, Brooks, over to Hanna and Empress. We're looking at 2 hot days and quite warm nights, so even hard to get relief at night if you don't have air conditioning in your house. Outside of that, though, it's very close to that heat warning criteria, so you can expect it to be hot everywhere for the next couple of days. We also have this instability built into the mountains. We're so stable, though, in southern Alberta, central Alberta, thanks to the ridge of high pressure, that once they make it to our side of the mountains, they're really just dying out. But in the mountains, Canmore, even over to Banff, up to Jasper, we're looking at the same sort of development again tomorrow. And even we may see a little bit tomorrow night in through Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass area. So that same development that we've had today, way off to the west in the mountains, we have the potential of getting that later in the day tomorrow as well, as you can see here. All right, then outside of that, every community looking at sunshine and heat. Same idea for Friday. However, by supper time on Friday, the system rolls on in. This is going to bring on and off rainfall Friday night in through the weekend as well. And we'll pick up another decent amount of rainfall in Calgary and many other communities from this, and temperatures will cool as well. So looking at that long range forecast, 28 is our high for tomorrow in the city. Later in the day, you may notice the winds picking up a little bit, just like what happened today. 28 degrees for Friday as well. But by the supper time hours on Friday, we get into the chance of showers and thunderstorm activity continuing on and off right through Saturday and likely early Sunday as well. We're looking at picking up over 15 millimeters of rain from Friday night through Sunday. And as you can see, temperatures cool to those low 20s by Sunday.
Thank you, Danielle. Still to come, how his art went from Alberta to London. The abstract artist from Canmore making it to the big stage. A Canmore artist is back from England, where one of his pieces was selected to be part of a major London exhibit. It's an international event where 350 artists from 60 countries were selected. They're all museum-level works of paintings, sculpture, photography, and mixed media. Kevin Fleming has more.
He's a retired geologist, but has painted all his life. Now Stephen Bend has more time to explore his abstract art, but what he learned as a 4-year-old has stuck with him.
It was my aunt who corrected how I would hold the pencil, hold the paintbrush, and I remember telling me, you've got to load your paintbrush, and she even taught me how to put 2 or 3 colors on one paintbrush.
Ben submitted this piece that he painted for his wife Phyllis called Passion Ascending. He did it in secret over 5 months and says it's a celebration of their love and passion and being together for almost 46 years.
I had one interesting interaction with one of the curators, the lady, who said that, this was one piece that really spoke to her.
The whole adventure was sparked by his son Christopher, who pushed Stephen to submit some of his work and share it with a larger audience than just family and friends.
He was producing such a quantity of high quality works that it was a shame to just have them sitting around the house. And so it originally started with just me sending him a few galleries on Instagram, really small ones, castings for artists.
Ben says he was filled with emotion when he learned his painting had been accepted into the London Art Biennale 2025.
The curators stated that they had 10,000 submissions and that their basic criteria was that all the pieces were going to be of museum quality, which means that, they perhaps belong in a gallery in some way. So that was intimidating, and that held me back from submitting, and it was, again, because of Chris pushing and pushing and pushing.
Now Ben says he enjoyed attending the opening event in London so much that he's working on a piece to submit for next year's Biennale in Italy. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Canmore.
Ben says it takes him about 5 months to finish one of his abstract paintings. His website explains the meaning behind his pieces. We've posted a link to his work on our website. Well, the crowds will be roaring with delight with the return of Disney's The Lion King at the Southern Alberta Jubilee. The award-winning musical will run for 3 weeks through to August 17th. It's no small feat to bring this show to life. It takes 17 trucks to transport the puppets, set pieces, costumes, and it takes crews 4 days to set up the production in a new city. Tickets are still available to catch Simba, Nala, Pumbaa, and the entire cast bring the animated film to life. You can head to BroadwayAcrossCanada.ca or Ticketmaster. Well, that does it for our show this evening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow.